Sit back, relax a little bit. Let me tell you a story. See if yours is anything like mine. Remember when I was a kid? So much better when I popped the lid. Till the rabble open it up.
Exactly, listen to Shawnee. Right, and Cash Out's the easy way to get money transferred when you're out with friends. So, jump into that and then we'll get back to it.
He said, baby, jump in the back, boy. Tailgate crazy.
Tailgate crazy. Said maybe. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another great episode of Fantasy Reports. And I'm your bus driver, Cedric Green. Looks like it's just me right now. So we'll just keep this busso rolling, man. We got some craziness going on this past couple days. Just like the same as last week, only crazy, I guess, right? We got Cooper Kupp going to the Seahawks. We got the Bengals, man, just doing Bengals things. Shout out to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Vikings trading for Jordan Mason. Was that good? Was that bad? They're just stockpiling. The Cowboys are just stockpiling on mediocre running backs, right? As they say. So, a lot to touch on. This past week alone in NFL free agency news, as it's been nothing but the wild, wild west since the free agency opened up. But yeah, no, we'll start off with that Bengals story, man. Oh, man, the Bengals. Actually, we won't start off with the Bengals. We'll continue to do it the way that we always do it. So we'll go ahead and I'll bring you that promo, and then I'll be right back. So, yeah, start off with that Cincinnati Bengals story, man. It's like the Bengals just went out and said, you know what? We don't care about defense, man. We really don't. We're just going to make sure that we stick to our word and saying that we're going to, one, keep both these guys, and two, make Jamar Chase the highest paid non-quarterback in history. So they went out and they agreed to not one, but 2 4-year deals with their wide receivers. Jamar Chase got 4 years, $161 million, with $112 million guaranteed, while T. Higgins got 4 years, $115 million. 4 years for $115 million is guaranteed for the first 2 years. Jamar Chase getting about $40 million a year. That's crazy. Think he might be making more than Joe Burrow. I'll have to check and see. I should have pulled up Joe Burrow's records, but that's wild, man. Like, hey, I guess that it is what it is, right? They came out and announced they wanted to make him the highest paid player, and then we saw all those moves. All those other players became the highest paid non-quarterback, starting with Myles Garrett, and then it just kind of rolled from there. Oh, man. So, but yeah, Jamar Chase only 25. He just turned 25 on March 1st. Coming off one of his best seasons and one of the best seasons by a receiver in NFL history. He became the 5th player since the NFL merger to win a Triple Crown. So he led in receptions, had 127, led in receiving yards with 1,708, and led in receiving touchdowns with 17. So he did lead in all 3 categories, but as we saw, it didn't do a whole lot for the Bengals. So it was a wild move, but still, really productive guys and really great guys. I just don't know if they needed to keep both of them. I feel like Chase's numbers were actually better when Higgins wasn't on the field, but Higgins 26, off and on with injuries, especially last season. He was 10th in the NFL for receiving yards per game. He had 75.9 receiving yards per game. So, and he had 10 touchdowns and 12 appearances. So, he came out there 12 times. I don't think he started all 12 times. I think he's come back from injury in a couple of those games. But they placed a franchise tag on him. It was a little bit of suspense. What are they gonna do? And this is what they did. I think they just wanted to make their top players happy, and they did that for sure. In a big way. So shouts out to the Cincinnati Bengals, man. We'll see what their defense looks like this year, right? See what the offensive line looks like. I mean, they can afford it. But by way of duos, the highest wide receiver duos in the NFL, you got, of course, now the Bengals duo coming in at $69 million. You got the Dolphins duo, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, coming at $58.3 million a year. And then you got the Eagles duo, the Super Bowl winning duo, coming in, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, coming in at $57 million a year. So you kind of see, which teams there. Folks in what still have, top tier duos, and which teams are focusing where, and kind of maybe have defensive issues. But I guess the AFC is hard too, so you kind of want to have that firepower, right? Everybody wants to keep up with the Chiefs, who don't have highest paid duo, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. So, but yeah, no, that was that Jamar Chase, T. Higgins deal. So making Jamar Chase the highest paid, I'm pretty sure the highest paid non-quarterback as of now. We'll see until whoever else gets that deal, but I'm pushing him over $40 million a year. Moving on, then, we got another crazy move. Choosing to stay in the same division. We got Cooper Kupp just moving right up the road, going over to Seattle Seahawks on a 3-year, $45 million deal, which glad the Broncos didn't get him. I didn't want to pay that much money for Cooper Kupp. That's a lot of money. But I mean, he's still number one, right? He'll be number 1A, number 1B, number 2A. What do you guys think? Cooper Kupp number 1 over there in Seattle, or is it Njigba? Who's number 1 receiver over in Seattle? I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Let's put that in the chat there. Who is the number 1 wide receiver in Seattle now? Is it Kupp? Is it Njigba? Let me know, guys. I know it's not a whole lot of you out there right now, but when you come on, if you're watching this in a rewatch, jump on. Let me know who out there are you pushing for? Yeah. So moving on. Yeah. So Cooper Kupp gets that 3-year deal, $45 million. Replacing DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, whoever you want to say. I'd say mostly, obviously, DK Metcalf, and going back home. About less than 200 miles away. Grew up in Yakima, and I think it's called Yakima, Washington. So that's a cool story. Gets to come back and finish his career out in Seattle. He once had his triple crown back in 2021, not so long ago. So we'll see how that Bengals deal ages, right? See how it goes, see what happens. But the Rams were looking to trade him and ended up releasing him, and still owed him some money, so he's able to recoup some of that money and still make a bit more too. So it kind of worked out for him in all ways, shape, or form. So however it goes, I think maybe he is the number 1 in Seattle, just maybe solely based off of that news. I would say, at least. I don't know. What are you guys feeling? Let me know. Do you think he's the number 1? Do you think he's not the number 1? Let me log in and check on this other social media page. But yeah. All right. There we go. But so far we talked about the Bengals re-signing or extending Jamar Chase and T. Higgins both at the same time, which I don't even know if I've seen that done, where teams extended both their number 1 and number 2 receiver at the same exact time for the same amount of years. So they are tied to both of them for the next, at least 2 years. giving themselves a little bit of an out with T. Higgins in the next 2 years, but they're at least tied to the both of them for the next 2 years, with almost, a little bit around $60 million tied up to the both of them. That's a lot tied up for wide receivers, man. And then you just extended Joe Burrow, last year. So it'll be interesting to see what moves they make this offseason. I think they'll be going young in a lot of places, right? They won't be trying to go on those big name free agents. They already got their big names in-house. So it'll be crazy to see if they do make another big move. But, hey, teams have deep pockets when they want to be in. They feel like their time is now. That's why they're making a move like this. Not to jump back to the Bengals. I mean, Seattle, Seattle. I don't know. I think they'll be okay. They'll be Seattle and kind of pop in and out of the playoff race, but ultimately I think they won't make it. They'll fall short. But, man, San Fran just on a fire sale. Trade Jordan Mason away to the Minnesota Vikings for a 6th-round pick and then a swap of picks. So they'll receive Minnesota's 160 and Minnesota gets San Francisco's 187. So kind of moved up a little bit in the draft. All for trading away Jordan Mason, and they can get another running back in this. I feel running back heavy draft. If you look at it, there's quite a bit of good running backs you can take even later in the draft, in the later rounds. And San Francisco has a plethora. You saw it last year where they have like 10 running backs come in and start for them last year. So just off that, I think San Francisco will be good. Not necessarily looking at it as a fire sale, but they don't have to pay him. He was in line to get paid. He was the one main backup to CMC when CMC went down, and then we saw what happened. But then when he went down, they proved they can move on too. So it'll be interesting to see how Minnesota uses him. They did just re-sign Aaron Jones too. So looks like they're planning to really go in on JJ McCarthy and go kind of run heavy at all costs. You know what I mean? So they're prepared if injuries come. So maybe that's a good trade. We'll see. Feel like they don't know how to use running backs, so we'll see if they learn how to use running backs over Minnesota. I don't know. That's just me looking at it, how I look at it. But those are just some free agency moves. We'll continue on with some more free agency moves. Guys, tell me how you feel. What's your craziest move? What'd your team do? Did they make any good moves? I know the Broncos picked up a couple defensive players in Hufanga, Greenlaw, and then got Evan Engram. So we made some solid moves in free agency. I think that they really put the Broncos in a really good position to not have to worry about go out and try to draft all of those positions, because you can't draft them all early, right? You can only get 1, 2, and 3 in the first 3 rounds, so you can't draft for 5 or 6 positions. So I think they did really good by picking up, especially Evan Engram. That was a position they needed. Now they can go and get maybe a tight end in the 4th or 5th round and let them develop, or maybe even if they hit on them, let them go. But they have their tight end just in case. And then with Greenlaw, covers up the inside, like I said last week, covers that inside. So, we're good to go with that. And then Hufanga, the safety. We needed a safety. We needed somebody that can fly all over the field and cover those positions where Pat Surtain can be, right? So I think we did a really good job, and now we can go into the draft. If we don't pick up anybody else, we can go into the draft and look at running backs and maybe pick up some depth players, some more wide receivers, pick up some more tight ends, pick up some more linebackers, pick up players to develop and grow at this point. So I think the Broncos did good. So how did your teams do? Who are you following? Who are you watching? And where did they land in the free agency pool? Are they better? Did they pick up anybody? Did they do anything? Did they do nothing? Think about it. Figure it out. Let me know in the chat. I'd love to see it. I'd love to put it up here on the screen. I'm going to take a break really quick, and then I'll be right back. Catch you guys on the other side.
My name is Anton Popoff, and this is my 6th year of college football. Training during the hottest times of the day is a recipe for muscle cramps, which is why electrolytes are so important. Hydration is crucial for my performance. Dragon Salt eliminates muscle cramps and boosts your overall energy level. Whether it's a weight room or field session, I fuel up with Dragon Salt beforehand. It's been a game changer for me, and it'll be a game changer for you.
Dragon Salt. I wish I had some Dragon Salt right now. I'll drink some of it. But when you do go check it out, use our code Shady Sports and you get 10% off that thing. But yeah, back to it. So we're talking about Jordan Mason going up to the Vikings. I mean, dude was shot, few hundred yards short of 1,000 last season after he took over for CMC. He only had 3 touchdowns, but still, I mean, he was looking really good. He was a viable running back option. I know as far as fantasy relevance it goes, a lot of people, I wasn't mad, having Jordan Mason in for a couple of weeks. Now, it didn't last throughout the full season, obviously, as CMC came back, as other running backs took over when Jordan Mason was hurt, but still, so San Francisco, I felt like they didn't have to pay him, but he did have over 700 yards, over 780 yards last season, actually. So I think he is a solid backup running back. I wouldn't have minded if the Broncos would have looked at him and went after a trade, but from what, I heard around the way is he's not really a pass catching back, which is what we need more of if we're going to have somebody in there. So if he's not going to catch any passes, there's no need to have him back there to bail out Bo Nix, right? So we don't need to pay that money. Other running backs, like I said, the Cowboys are stocking up on mediocre running backs. They went and grabbed, I don't mean to say mediocre running backs. They went and got Miles Sanders, signed him on a 1-year deal after going and getting Javonte Williams. So Miles Sanders, he comes back to the NFC East after being with the Panthers, where he didn't, where we didn't see a whole lot from him. It was hit or miss, right? Kind of like when he was with the Eagles. But he comes to the Cowboys, and it's right after Rico Dowdle signs with the Panthers, right? So they just trade running backs. Sanders, 27 years old. He signed a 4-year deal with Carolina back in 2023. And then it was later replaced by Chuba, who, we talked about. He's a beast. They just extended to big money deals. So, Sanders is the lone man out after they had Jonathan, what's his face, over there too. So he was long man out, so he had to move on. Free agent, Cowboys picked him up, pair him up with Javonte Williams, and we'll see an average of about 3.5 yards per carry next season from the Cowboys. So probably stay away from their running backs next season, right? You probably were already. Although Rico Dowdle was serviceable, I thought he was decent. I wasn't mad at it for sure. When I had to use Rico Dowdle, I was not mad about it. So take it however you want to take it. I thought it was a pretty. When he took off, I think, what was it after? Probably halfway through the season, maybe a little bit more before halfway through the season. But once he started taking off, because at first they had Ezekiel running it, right? They were trying to get Elliott off the ground, and he just wasn't doing it. So once they finally turned the reins over to Rico Dowdle, he was a pretty decent running back. So we'll see, man. Carolina's running back room is going to be pretty scary. So just some notable free agents still out there. Stephon Diggs. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. He's coming off that ACL injury. He's still recovering from it, I think, too. Amari Cooper. I see one of these wide receivers going to the Broncos just to have a veteran presence and a depth presence. Russell Wilson, I think the Steelers are waiting to see what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. So we'll see where he goes. We're talking about him going to Minnesota. Justin was saying something about him going to Minnesota. So we'll see if he returns, or if he follows the path of Brett Favre, or if he tries to write his own story. J.K. Dobbins is still out there. I thought he'd sign. I guess I'm wrong. Yeah. Guess he's still available. I wouldn't mind the Broncos bringing him in either, just to kind of have that that veteran presence when we do bring in a running back. Keenan Allen, now that's who I want the Broncos to bring in. They're gonna bring anybody in. That's some sure hands right there. He's at 33, but I mean, that's a solid, number 2, number 3, number 4 option. Not afraid to play his role, even though he's a great, pretty much a version of Cooper Kupp. Sure hands. It's Keenan Allen, man. You need it going. Keenan Allen has it for you, right? So I wouldn't mind bringing in Keenan Allen for sure. Deontay Johnson, he's been bouncing around. I think he'll probably stay open. I wouldn't mind them bringing back Justin Simmons, even though they already got Hufanga, so they probably won't even look at Simmons. But just veteran minimum, get him on there, see where he goes. And I guess by them I mean the Broncos, if you guys are listening. Kind of just rambling with myself right now, but hey, Tyler Lockett's still available. It's crazy, man. He's watched Cooper Kupp go back to his team, and he's like, dang, I don't know where I'm going to go. There's so many wide receivers this year in free agency, and so many coming up in the draft, and so many came up last year. Kind of big, wide receivers become the odd man out super, super quick. There's really nowhere for him to go. Once all these teams pick up, I mean, especially at the dollar that some of them are trying to command, I feel like, yeah, and then, they look at teams like the Chiefs, they're like, oh, they don't even have these top dollar players, and they're still dominating. Why do we need to go out and sign big names? Like, what? We don't need to do that. So I feel like that slows it down. Do you see McCole Hardman? He landed with the Packers. How do you feel about that? That's a big signing, McCole Hardman. I don't know. He is with the Chiefs. Speaking of the Chiefs, so yeah, McCole Hardman signs with the Packers. That's one of the latest and greatest free agencies. Rondale Moore visited the Jets earlier today, wide receiver. So we'll see. Lions re-signed Craig Reynolds, so they're probably not drafting a running back, right? Unless it's like 6th, 7th round, super late. They see one that they just really like late in the draft. Yeah. No, David Moore signed with the Panthers. Commanders. Deebo Samuel will wear number 1. That's cool. That's cool. He's going to be number 1, right? Just come in, take it over from Scary Terry, or Scary Terry still number 1. Who's number 1 receiver in Washington, guys? Is it Scary Terry or is it Deebo Samuel? I'd love to hear what you guys got to say about that. Yeah, I think we're rolling this bus pretty good tonight. It's rolling along a little slowly, chugging. Gosh, I haven't done a show by myself in a while, but we're keeping it moving. I think we got some good rhythm. Let me know. Am I doing okay? I feel like you guys are slowly coming in, hitting all the bus stops, guys slowly getting in here. So, I'd love to hear what you have to say, what your thoughts are. Like I said, what your teams do? Who was your team? How'd they do in free agency? Oh, man. Yeah, but other than what we talked about, nothing really crazy going on other than those big deals. Oh man, NBA. Nuggets had a big win. Oh, I want to talk about that. We'll talk about that. Let's take another little promo. I know it's a little early, but we're probably gonna wrap it up a little sooner tonight. But take a promo. We'll come back. We'll talk about the Nuggets.
How are you? Bring them things. I call the plug. Bring them things. That's money. That's cash out.
Yes. Yeah, so that was the crazy free agency news. Let me see anything else fantasy news wise. Not really. The biggest news was just that Jamar Chase T. Higgins extension. Like I said, that's the first time I've seen a team sign 2 wide receivers at the same time. Have y'all seen that before? Let me know. Cooper Rush reached an agreement with the Ravens. He's going to be Lamar Jackson's backup. Signed a 2-year contract worth up to $12.2 million. So getting his money. The Vikings signed Mason for a 2-year, $12 million. So they're right there in the same they're in the same neighborhood. Kareem Hunt signed with the Chiefs again. It's crazy. Made his way back. He's like the prodigal son, right? Left and then came back after a while. Lions re-signed Tim Patrick, so they got those sure hands. So hoping maybe he'd hit free agency so we could try to sign him, but he stays there in Detroit. I guess he likes it there. Mustache Minshew signed a 1-year deal to back up Patty Mahomes. So, we'll see him, week 15, right? We'll see him in one game, right? Alexander Madison signing with the Dolphins. So that's going to be a crazy pairing over there with A-Chain and Madison. Oh, man, that's going to be – we'll see. I think that'll be a pretty solid duo, actually. Jets signed tight end Stone Smart. I don't know much about Smart, so comes from the Chargers. So we'll see about him this year, right? I guess. The Raiders are signing Raheem Mostert. I think the Raiders are making some low-key moves, man. I don't want to say that, but they have been making some low-key moves. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Steelers bringing back Mason Rudolph. That's crazy. If wants a good backup, always a good backup. So why not? Why not? Mac Jones agreed to terms with the 49ers on a 2-year deal. So you have a backup Brock Purdy. Chargers are re-signing Mike Williams, another prodigal son. Left for a little bit. He left for like a year. He didn't even leave as long as Kareem Hunt. He left for a year. It wasn't even on bad terms when he's back. So that'll be cool to see. Chargers back with Mike Williams. Right. The Eagles are signing A.J. Dillon to back up Saquon. That's a scary duo right there. That right there, man. Probably invest heavily in the Eagles backfield, guys. That's going to be a scary duo. Khalil Herbert reached an agreement with the Colts. We'll see. They filtered through running backs. They filtered through. Yeah, some good news. Marcus Mariota returning to the Commanders. Back up Jaden Daniels. So that'd be a good little mentor position for sure. I can see definitely his skills translating over to Jaden Daniels' skills. Yeah, so over in NBA news, I'm trying to pull up the Nuggets from last night, man. They went in and dog walk Golden State without their starters. After having, let me tell you. So the Nuggets' past 3 games has been one of our better wins. Against Golden State, we went in without Jamal Murray, without Joker, without Christian Brown. And we dog walked the Warriors, who were on a 7-1 run. 9-10 in the last 10 games. 114-105 with Aaron Gordon scoring 38 points. I feel like they just weren't ready for it. They didn't expect it. So, of course, we come out and we do what we had to do, which is what the Nuggets do quite often. And then before that, on Saturday, we went in and we lose last minute to the Wizards, who were one of the worst teams in the NBA somehow. I don't even know how. I think Joker had like 50 points. Let's see. 40 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. And we lose. Jamal Murray, 24 points. Michael Porter, 20 points. For Christian Brown, 9 points. If you had gotten double digits, we'd have won, right? Who knows? But anyway, worst loss of the season. Before that was the best win of the season against the Lakers. Wednesday against the Celtics. That was the best win of the season. Where was that Celtics game at? And then we followed that up against a win against the Lakers. Of course, they didn't have Luka or LeBron. but still, we beat them. I mean, you gotta play who you play right in front of you, whoever's in front of you. So we still won, right? Nuggets, man, it's gonna be crazy to see how they look into the playoffs. Man, like Joker came out the other day and said, it's probably who they are. They're not gonna turn a switch on and beat somebody else surprisingly for the playoffs, right? So this is the Nuggets team that we get, and we hope that the core of Christian Brown, the Joker, and Aaron Gordon click, because Murray and MPJ, you just do not know what you're gonna get. You don't know which one of those guys are gonna show up. At least Christian Brown, man, if he's not scoring points, you're gonna get energy. You know you're bringing the energy for sure. With MPJ, you may get energy, you may get rebounds, you may get threes, but you're not getting it all. One thing you will get is him standing around, right? With Murray, you may get scoring, but you're not getting assists, you're not getting the setups. Where's that two-man game that we raved about? Maybe we will see playoff Murray wake up, hopefully. But they've been getting them some rest, which is really cool. They've been questionable, taking them out, but they've been getting well-deserved rest, resting up. Because even all the saying, we're still the second seed, man, in the NBA, in the West. So we'll see how it goes from here. I don't know if we can beat OKC in 7, but it'll be hard for both teams, man, on both sides, right? It'll be hard for both teams on both sides to win that game. And we'll see. We got a few games left. We got a few weeks left for the playoffs, so we'll see how the Nuggets round it off. And if they do get much more rest these next couple of weeks, maybe, it may take sacrifice and seeding to get them the rest to maybe pick it up in the playoffs, because we can't have our top guys roll into the playoffs exhausted, right? We cannot have that at all. So we'll see how it goes, guys. With that, I don't know. I don't know what else to talk about tonight. You guys, tell me if you want to talk about something else. I feel like it's, just me. It's kind of hard to keep it going. I haven't gotten to that point in this yet, right? Maybe I'll get there where I can just talk and do a full show on my own. But I don't know. You tell me. If March Madness started up, what your bracket's looking like, and why do you have the Gators winning? I got the Gators winning my bracket, so I'll tell you that right now. Maybe I'll go through my bracket next episode. Or maybe I'll just go through my bracket now. Let me see if I can pull it up. My bracket. I just did it one on ESPN. And on 104.3 The Fan. Do one on their website too. But let me see. But I do have the Gators winning, and I know that much for sure. I just gotta find it. I feel like it's always harder to find stuff when I'm doing the show live, because trying to pay attention to, and then I'm trying to look for stuff too. Oh wait, there we go. Where's my bracket? Oh, here we go. All right. Got my picks. Should have went to a break while I did that, right? All righty. So, in the first round, and I'll just start in the South region, I got Auburn over Alabama State, Louisville over Creighton, Michigan over San Diego, Texas A&M over Yale, Ole Miss over San Diego State or UNC. We'll see who they're playing. But I got Ole Miss winning that game regardless. Got Iowa State over Lipscomb, Marquette over New Mexico, Michigan State over Bryant. So, yeah, that was my South bracket: Auburn, Louisville, Michigan, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Iowa State, Marquette, Michigan State. In the West bracket, of course, I got my Gators over Norfolk State, UConn over Oklahoma. Oh, here we go. Colorado State over Memphis. You guys heard it here. That's my Cinderella, Colorado State. CSU over Memphis. Maryland over Grand Canyon. Missouri over Drake. Texas Tech over UNC. Kansas over Arkansas. And St. John's over Omaha. So all the top seeds. So Florida, UConn, except for Colorado State. Maryland, Missouri, Texas Tech, Kansas, St. John's. Oh, Kansas and St. John. All right. Go over to the East. So, like I said, top seeds. You got Duke over whoever they're playing. Mississippi State over Baylor. Oregon over Liberty. Arizona over Akron. BYU over VCU. Wisconsin over Montana. St. Mary's over Vanderbilt. And Alabama over Robert Morris. I don't know. I just felt like all the top seeds are going to take it. I really just picked it off going off Florida to win it and changed up a few. So that was the East. I got Duke, Mississippi State, Oregon, Arizona, BYU, Wisconsin, St. Mary's, Alabama. All right. Moving on to the Midwest. Midwest, we got Houston over. Who is this? Man, they play some weird teams. I tell you that much. We got Houston winning. Uh-oh, where did we go? Gonzaga. Oh, I clicked out of it. Click one thing and just like that. All right, yeah. So we got Houston, Gonzaga over Georgia, Clemson over McNeese, Purdue over High Point, Illinois over Texas, Kentucky over Troy, UCLA over Utah State, Tennessee over Wofford. So got Houston, Gonzaga, Clemson, Purdue, Illinois, Kentucky, UCLA, Tennessee. So only one upset. That's CSU. And then I got the Gators coming out over Duke. And the overall score I put was 96 total. So we'll see. Gators over Duke. Gators coming back to glory, man. It's been a while, but you know what? The SEC got 14 teams in the dance. So one of them teams going to be dancing, and that team's going to be orange and blue, baby. So orange and blue all through and through. Hey, guys, I think it's been real. It's been fun. You know, I think we're gonna keep it there. We got a good solid 40 minutes. I think that's good for me. That was a personal record. I would have been done by 15 minutes, guys, but I managed to bring you some good. So brought some good stuff about the NFL free agency. Talked about the Nuggets for a bit, and then we talked about March Madness. So tell me what you want to talk about in the next episode. I'd love to hear it. So jump in the Facebook group, Fantasy Reports, our Shady Sports Network. Check out Shady Sports Network on all your streaming services. Wherever you are on social media, Shady Sports Network is probably there. And we got some good information. So not just the NFL, we cover all types of other football leagues, the UFL, all types of indoor, outdoor leagues, spring leagues, fall leagues. So check it out. We got other articles, stats, videos, live coverage, live sports. We covered a Big Three basketball league, Ice Cubes League. You know, we just picked up another league, the AAL too. So an arena league, come check them out. They're going to broadcast all their games on Shady Sports. So we got live games coming at all types of stuff. So check it out, ShadySportsNetwork.com, not just Fantasy Reports. And then Fantasy Reports, we're gearing up for the season 2. So if you want to join our football league, let us know. We'll get you the invite on the Sleeper app and get you in there. You can check out the description and you'll find the links for that as well. So hey, guys, it's been fun. It's been real. I'm going to throw another Shady Sports promo, and then I'm going to end it down. So if anything else, jump in the chat, leave it there, or get at us in Shady Sports Network, and we'd love to hear from you. And we'll check you out next week. Until then, have a great one, guys.
game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.